The thing I love most about the iPad is just how versatile it can be. It's a note-taking device for students, a photo and video editor for creators, a canvas for sketching and drawing, while also being an everyday device for browsing and just getting stuff done. I use my iPad Pro every day, and these are the best non-Apple accessories that I found that help me get the most out of it. The Magic Keyboard and the Apple Pencil Pro are both fantastic. I already covered those in my review of the M4 iPad Pro. So instead, I want to focus on some accessories that you probably haven't heard of. Links to everything will be down in the description. Let me know your favorites down in the comments. So let's get right into it, starting with a charger that is a bit different. If you're thinking this looks familiar, this is modelled after the original Macintosh from 1984. This is the retro 67 watt charger from Charge. Yes, it has a bit of a funky design, but it is more than just a gimmick. This display is real. When plugged in but not in use, it'll have this like Matrix style rain effect going on, pretty nice touch. And then when you plug your iPad into charge, it'll tell you how much wattage it is currently drawing. Not just your iPad, of course, you can charge your phone, earbuds, any tech that you want. This has 3 USB-C ports up top and supports a max total output of 67 watts from a single C port. For 2-port charging, you'll get up to 45 watts from the C1 and 20 from one of the others. Then 3-port charging, you'll get 45 watts from the C1 and 15 shared across the other 2. With that display showing you the total output across all of the ports combined. The iPad Pro only needs about 40 watts for fast charging, so this will get it from 0 to 40% in around 30 minutes. The other thing that I really like about this is the prongs. So this comes with the US style prongs that fold away, but depending on where you're buying from, you'll get an appropriate adapter for the UK or the EU that slides on, with an option as well to get all of the adapters in a set, including one for Australia as well. So for any frequent flyers, this can also be your travel charger as well, as these adapters are much more compact than the traditional plug adapters that you have to use. I love the design, all of the little details like the floppy drive on the front, the vents on the side and the rear ports. There is a lot of attention to detail. It looks great out on the desk even when you're not using it, and it can be used to keep your iPad and all of your daily tech charged up. Next up, we have the Shift Series Magnetic Case and Armorite screen protector from ESR, who are the sponsor of this video. Now, the iPad is all about versatility, and this is about the most versatile case that you can get. It offers way more than just protection. It comes in 2 parts. We have the case, which covers all of the sides and buttons with cutouts for the camera and speakers. And it comes with a matching stand, which the magnetic case will stick to. And this gives you a lot of adjustability with viewing angles from 15 to 75 degrees using the grooves, which feature even more magnets, keeping everything nice and stable. So you can lay the iPad down for drawing or sketching with the Apple Pencil or typing down at your lap. Bring it back up to watch a film or get some work done. The case and stand are designed in tandem to work perfectly together. So much so that because of how the magnets are arranged, you can raise the iPad up, bringing it closer to eye level and making it just much more comfortable to do your work with. And also giving you a much nicer angle for video calls as well. Then check this out, this is my favorite feature. You can also attach the iPad in portrait orientation, which is amazing for working on any long documents or going through PDFs. You can see so much more of your content on screen. I love this. The protective lightweight back case allows you to easily switch it up between different use modes and ensures always on protection, flipping around like a folio to cover the front glass when on the go. In total, that gives you 9 different ultra stable angles, 6 for viewing and 3 for writing, via the dual support brackets and the 6 magnetic grooves, all in an elegant and stylish design that matches the versatility of the iPad in any situation. Then for even more protection, look no further than the ESR Armorite screen protector. The ultra-hard tempered glass offers protection from pinpoint force up to 110 pounds, that's 50 kilograms, 10 times stronger than the industry standard, exceeding even military grade standards as well. Your iPad display is kind of important. It is the canvas that you use to interact with all of your apps and games, so you're going to want to protect it from scratches and impact. projects. Now, it's super easy to install. For the record, I have never installed an iPad screen protector before, but the included kit makes it a breeze. It's a simple 4-step process, and like magic, the screen protector is installed and you are good to go. You can use your iPad, take it on the go, and know that you've got that added layer of protection for the display. With ultra hardness to pass a 10,000 times scratch test, and glass that's been tempered for 4 hours to pass a 4-foot ball drop test as well. Click the links in the description to check them out, and thank you to ESR for sponsoring this segment of the video. Next, we have the Logitech Keys to Go 2. I love this little keyboard. It is super thin and compact, and the perfect typing companion for any iPad. You might remember the original. This new version has had a total redesign with a much more solid build. Instead of the squishy plastic mesh that covered the keys, this one now feels much nicer to type on, much more solid and tactile with the 1mm of travel on the scissor keys. It comes in pale grey, graphite and lilac. We have a power switch up top, but you'll notice there is no charging port on this. Instead, it takes a single replaceable coin battery, which is going to last you around 3 years. And that is insane. This is not something you're going to ever have to worry about charging. The flip around cover protects the keys when this is in your bag. It is super slimline from about 4 to 9mm with this wedge-shaped design, and it is less than 250 grams, so you can take this anywhere. It connects via Bluetooth LE, connecting and switching between up to 3 devices all at once with the easy switch keys. So you can also use it with your MacBook hooked up to an external display, or even pair it with your phone as well. You've got some useful shortcuts along the top row for screen brightness, app switching, bringing up the emoji picker and taking screenshots, along with some playback controls on the right and a button for turning on Do Not Disturb so you can avoid any distractions. A fantastic little keyboard. It pairs great with the Logitech Pebble mouse as well. And I do find that using these with the iPad just makes me so much more productive. You get access to all of the keyboard shortcuts that you're used to and a tactile keyboard that is just easier to type with. Next, this is something that I've been using with the iPad for a while now, and it's still the best portable hub that I have found. This is the 6-in-1 hyperdrive hub. Every iPad, including the Pro, of course, only has a single port on the side. The hyperdrive turns that single port pretty much into any port that you're ever going to need. It adds a headphone jack, a USB-A port for any older cables and tech, both an SD and micro SD card slot, so you can import any photos and videos from your camera after a shoot and get editing straight away. A 60-watt USB-C port with pass-through so you can still charge while you've got the hub plugged in, and it also supports data transfers. Then finally, a 4K 60 HDMI port up top if you ever need to use your iPad with an external display that isn't Thunderbolt compatible. So maybe like a monitor in a computer lab, or even a projector if you're giving a presentation. It's the ultimate hub for the iPad to turn one port into 6. You can carry just this instead of a bunch of separate dongles and adapters. Without being too big either, you can keep this in whatever daily backpack you use and always have it with you. And I have seen they now have a newer version which has some media playback controls on it, so if you want that, you can get that version instead. Now, when you're buying an iPad, choosing a capacity is one of the hardest decisions to make. You don't want too little because then you're going to be stuck with not enough and there's no way to upgrade it internally. But at the same time, choosing high capacities is one of the fastest ways that you can increase the price and spend literally hundreds of dollars or pounds more. So instead, you might want to look into an external option. This is a teeny little SSD from Lexar. It's really cute. It measures in at just 4.4 by 2.4 centimeters and plugs straight into the USB-C port. And now you've got access to either 1 or 2 terabytes of extra storage through the Files app. Now, for most people, I do think that the smaller iPad capacities are usually enough for daily use. But if you are someone that is into photography, taking and editing a load of photos on the iPad, or video editing projects in Final Cut Pro, these can easily become hundreds of gigs in size, and that can become a bit of a problem. Thankfully, Apple did recently update the Final Cut app on the iPad, adding support now for storing projects on external drives. You still can't edit externally, so you will need enough space locally for your current project, But as you move on to new ones, you can move these onto the SSD to free up some space and still have access to those projects if you need those assets again. Same goes for importing photos from a camera or an SSD. You'll still need some space on the iPad to bring those files in. You won't be waiting long either, as file transfers are super fast, up to around 1,000 megabytes per second read and write speeds, so you can work smoothly and quickly, transferring any files between the SSD and your iPad as needed. Quick mention next to this stand from Ugreen. It's a nice way to dock your iPad at a desk or even in the kitchen if you're following a recipe. Really solid and sturdy with the metal arms. The double hinges make it height adjustable, folding all the way down flat for storage when it's not in use. Two things I really like about it are its universal compatibility. This is going to work with pretty much any iPad or tablet, as it just rests here in the cradle. And second, the rotating base gives you another way to adjust the position of your iPad. Say if you want to swivel it around to show someone something. You have a lot of flexibility to position in a way that works for you while you're taking notes, using the iPad as a second display, following a recipe in the kitchen. It is a simple stand that does what it says on the tin that you can use in the home or office. Then for some on-the-go power, this is the SharGeek 140. This has such a cool design with the transparent casing. You can see all of the little components inside. It looks futuristic, but at the same time, kind of retro. We don't really see a lot of transparent tech anymore. But it reminds me of like the original iMac and iBook, or even that blue PS2, which I desperately wanted as a kid. You get a choice of black or white. Up top, we get a USB-C and an A port. Personally, I would have preferred it to have just C ports, but I do know that a lot of people are still using their A cables that they've got knocking around. At around 16 by 7 by 3 centimeters and 470 grams, it's not super big and bulky, but for sure it's something that I would call a backpack power bank. That size houses a 20,000 mAh capacity, enough for around 2 charges for an iPad or 4 charges for your iPhone, or even more for your smaller tech. It has a total output of 140 watts and a single port output of 100 watts, which is kind of overkill for an iPad, but I like it more for the capacity and that sick design. But if you have like a MacBook as well, you can get even more use out of it there for some top-ups on the go. And you probably noticed it has a built-in smart display, so you can see exactly how much power is coming in and out of the power bank. You can see the current battery percentage. When you plug something in, it will show you how long is left until the power bank depletes, the current total output, and the input and recharge time when it's time to plug this in. And with a 65 watt max input, it will take around an hour and a half to do a full recharge of itself. Then at 72 watt hours, it is under the 100 watt hour limit that most airlines have for flying, so you can take this with you in your carry-on on those longer trips for some extra power. Just always check your airline rules before flying. It's a high capacity power bank for your iPad and all of your daily tech, and I love that unique design. Those are my top accessories for the iPad for helping with productivity or using it creatively. It's one of the most adaptable computers out there, and the right accessories can really help unlock its full potential. Check them out with the links in the description. Let me know your favorites down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, that really helps me out. Subscribe and hit the bell to see more tech videos from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.